Witches, poltergeists and an evil misogynist await the Most Haunted team as we journey north to Scotland.
Scratch one of us.
Hello, I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I brought my team to a place that almost defeated us and very nearly ended our investigations. Welcome to Most Haunted and Edinburgh Vaults.
Although the vaults were not created until the early 1700s, the location dates back far further in time, taking its name from a Robert Niddry who lived in the area. It is said that Nichol Edwards, the Provost of Scotland, built a house here. He was a wealthy man and a close personal friend of James VI of Scotland, the first of England, instigator of Scotland's terrible witch hunts, and who is reported to have made many visits to Edwards' house. The vaults, damp and dirty walls, hold a myriad of supposed sightings and supernatural occurrences which defy explanation. The Most Haunted team are no strangers to Niddry Street and the horror it holds, having experienced it during our spectacular Edinburgh Halloween Live in 2006. Of course, we could not resist the challenge of investigating once more, even though it holds our nemesis, the chilling circle of stones.
And this is the one place I never want to return to, as it not only scared us, it scarred us.
Pick it up and throw it.
Oh. That was somebody touching the door. It must have been.
What?
You're joking.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, no. Ah!
What's the matter?
What's wrong?
Let me check you off quick.
What's the matter?
Do you turn around? Feels like I've been stabbed.
We need to get them. No, we need to get him out here now. That is open. They are open gates.
We've just gone too far.
Steeped in stories of witchcraft and curses, this stone circle is thought to bring bad luck and injury to anyone who is brave or stupid enough to cross its boundaries. It's truly a damp, dark and oppressive place. Some people blame witchcraft, while others put the blame firmly on a negative entity that is trapped within the circle and shows its power by scratching unsuspecting guests with deep gouges. Many people have also reported feeling unwell or feeling faint or nauseous. With such activity already experienced and so much anticipation, how will we cope tonight? We have 24 hours to find out. The spirit of a tall man with a ponytail wearing a long black coat, nicknamed the Watcher, wanders this area. He's also been seen at the staircase and walking through the wall into the neighbouring building, and even seen in the cellar of a pub at the far end of the street. This apparition has been seen many times in these vaults, and everyone who has agrees on one alarming feature. He has no face. The ghosts of 3 children also haunt these tunnels, although little is known about them. One small boy is thought to be looking for his mum. A violent poltergeist is thought to inhabit the main vault. Many people report being touched on the face and back. One person was punched by this unseen force, resulting in a severe nosebleed. Another was shoved in the back and hurt so badly, hospital attention was needed. A woman wearing a fancy dress, outfit, and with her red hair, she has appeared with red marks on her wrists and neck. She was brutally murdered by a Spanish merchant, having her hands tied behind her back and her throat slit. He is known to have killed 2 other women, but only she appears.
Would historian Lesley Smith be able to cast more light on how and why the vaults came into existence and the stories they are said to hold?
Welcome to Niddry Vaults in the ancient heart of the city of Edinburgh, one of the most exciting cities on the planet. I can tell you within this house that had stood here before where these vaults are, and in these very vaults were chambers where people were tortured and tried, and sometimes in the presence of the king himself. This place is a place of great dread and fear. No wonder the covens moved down here. No wonder they're still here. Whether for the light or the dark, they are definitely still here and calling up spirits from the deepest places. Let us now talk about the witchcraft trials that were held here at the time of James VI of Scotland. We know for a fact that there were 13 cells down here where these vaults are, and there will be many more rooms as well. We know witches were tried here. We know at one particular point there was actually a witch tried here who was a man who was a school teacher, and his name was John Ryan. And I can tell you that 70 people were tried here as a result of a massive extended coven that had come from this place, it is thought. Not this building, but this place. The place is an absolute reputation for a cult. Some of the torture that would have been carried out here would have been absolutely dreadful. And we know one woman, Agnes Strickland, suffered most terribly when she was here and was taken on and tortured even more in another place quite close by.
Given that we all have preconceptions of the vaults based on our previous experiences, how would parapsychologist Dr. Kieran O'Keefe keep the team focused during the coming investigation?
Well, Kieran, we're either brave or we're either very stupid. After what happened here on Halloween a few years ago, I nearly handed in my resignation. I didn't want to do any more, and I know a few other members of the crew had second thoughts about continuing.
The Halloween Live, that experience, is going to prey on people's minds when we're doing this investigation. And it's something to be concerned about, because any reports of anxiety, any of the symptoms associated with extreme fear, it's all going to be exacerbated, because that memory of the experiences that the certain members of the team had is going to be on people's mind.
What do you actually think of the scratching phenomena that occurs in the stone circle? I know we've talked about it before, but do you think it really is an evil entity, or do you think it's something else?
If it is paranormal, the only possible explanation could be, yes, some evil entity. Sometimes when we talk about this sort of physical phenomena, we might say that it's group PK or it's poltergeist activity, that sort of thing. Let's just be blunt about it. It's something nasty. It's some sort of nasty, evil entity that's doing it.
The stone circle, do you think it's real?
If you're asking me in terms of belief, whether I think it's real or not, I don't. When we were here for the live before, I stood in the middle of the stone circle and nothing happened to me. I'll be doing the same thing tonight, and I hope that there are other members of the crew who will volunteer to stand in the circle. And if the phenomena is meant to happen to people who stand in the circle, why doesn't it happen to everybody?
Once again, joined by medium and psychic artist Brian Shepherd, the team approached the coming investigation of the Niddry Street vaults with a strange euphoria tinged with dread. What old phantoms will we resurrect over the coming hours?
I can feel their energy in this room. Yeah. As I just have as well.
The Most Haunted team are in Edinburgh, investigating the very frightening Niddry Street vaults. We take our first faltering steps in the relative safety of our camera lights, hopeful of meeting more benign spirits than before, but feeling that this place is full of evil. Will we once again unleash demons from their slumbers over the coming hours?
So, this is a little bit unusual.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It certainly is.
What can you see? What comes straight away?
Well, you know, you get a sense, I suppose. I mean, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm feeling that, you know, a sense is that these rooms, these vaults, were probably, you know, that's, I don't know, 1700 or something like that. I'm trying to sift that out in my mind at the moment, you know. But having said that, you know, there's a sense that there was something else here before, you know, this area, this street, whatever it is, existed. Probably we go back to, I don't know, 1400s or something. But as you come in, I mean, the overriding sense is one of, well, quite honestly, look at the place, you know. One feels a sense of despair, that probably persecution going on here, and fairly obviously witchcraft.
Okay.
I do get a sense that at some point there were trials here, and they were trials based on the practice of witchcraft.
Okay.
I sense a struggle. I sense an entity somewhere, a strength somewhere within this area,
Right.
which I believe has been somehow induced by the practice of witchcraft.
Ah, so the witches got together, as it were, and they have made this energy.
Exactly. By their practices, something has been created here. I also get a feeling or a sense of a tall male figure, a shape. Well, a shape then. I'm assuming male, okay, I don't know. But I get that as well. So there is that. You know.
So you're sensing female presence. You're also sensing you think it's a male. You're not quite sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
in this particular,
do you know, I
area-
picked that up outside as well. There seemed to be, you know, I sensed a male figure, you know, moving around within that area outside of this room, and also within here. So,
Right.
yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, of
Let's go
course.
out into that corridor where you saw what you
Yeah,
was
shall we do
describing
that?
as a mask. That
Okay.
one. So this is where you sense the gentleman.
I did. Can I just say, what I sensed was, you know, this figure, and as I say, yes, gentleman, but very kind of fuzzy, black shape,
Right.
come toward us and drift down these steps, walking up now, and into that room. That's what I said to
What's-
you. That's
this
the
is-
male.
Do you know who he is?
Well, as I say, all I sense was very tall, very fuzzy kind of figure, but very dark. I'll take a shot at kind of long hair, but that's all I have at the moment on him, okay?
And so, can you see what would have been here? You mentioned a lot of torment and despair earlier on.
Yeah. Well, what I believe is that, once again, you remember I mentioned persecution. I do believe that these rooms were used in many ways as places of torture. I think, you know, we're talking about late 1500s. Many women, yeah. It's just like something cold feeling. I saw it past here. And an intensity picking up also.
There's a lot of noise going on.
This
It's
is
probably
no, I don't
extraneous
know.
noise.
It's that street noise.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's something building, you know, as we walk up here.